Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, we've got a tag team battle. Now, the reason why I am doing this is because I am a big fan of Green River, the new Bardstown duo that they released. I wasn't a super huge fan of it, but these two cost more than these two. And even though these two have a higher proof than these two, I wanted to put them side by side, give you guys my thoughts on them so that if you are in the store and you are trying to figure out which two you need to pick up, and hell, you might even pick up a mixed duo, I don't know, but tag team right now is going down. Bardstown versus Green River. Let's get it. The first two bottles up in the lineup are going to be Bardstown regular bourbon and Green River's slightly high rye bourbon, 21%. So I'll read to you the mash bill of both of these. So the Bardstown comes in, it's 6 years old, 60% corn, 36% rye, and 4% malted barley. It is 96 proof. The Green River does not carry an age statement, but in order for it not to carry an age statement and be called straight, remember this, not just bonded products, it has to be aged at least 4 years. Now, my Glens are dirty because I just got finished shooting the Willet video, so don't judge me. But I've got glasses here that are pretty similar. The other two won't be, but we'll get it done either way, one way or another. I wanted to get these two because, like I said, man, side by side, I do like the Green River products a lot. Bardstown products, I wasn't super crazy about. Price on these things, I think this one came in when I got it at, I think it was 40 and 45. Some places have them for 45 and 50. These are normally 30 to 32 bucks and 30 to 37 to 38, something like that. But if you're in a store and you are having trouble deciding on which two you want to buy, if you haven't tried them yet, hey, check this video out. Don't forget, hit the like button, hit the comment button, subscribe to the channel. You know, that really helps me out. Hit the bell notification so you can get these videos every time. Without further ado, let's get into the bourbon, man. So if you are in the store and you're looking at these two and you don't know which one to get, I'm going to give you my thoughts on them, and hopefully that can help you. I won't be finishing all of these on the channel because I had some things to do. I just got finished shooting the other video. So, you know, feeling all right. Let's get into the nose of the Bardstown. Apples? I kind of get like this like apple sweetness, like and that's pretty much it. Let's see what the nose is on the Green River. Oh, the Green River almost has like a slight cherry on it. There's a little bit of a funk to the Green River too. There's a little bit of a funk, a little bit of a cherry. So far, I am liking the nose on the Green River more. Let's go into the palate. Palate of the Bardstown. Let's see what happens. A little bit of raisin, a little bit of grapiness. I would maybe even say a little bit of Buffalo Trace grapiness. Haven't been in that bottle in a while. Slight vanilla, a little bit of that grapiness. Not, you know, when I say Buffalo Trace grapiness, that's typically in Eagle Rare. Sometimes at Blanton's. You also get it in that Stag Junior. For whatever reason, maybe I should say Sazerac grapiness, because to me, Buffalo Trace does not have that note in it at all. To me, Buffalo Trace comes off more vanilla, more caramel, more citrusy. It does not have that grapiness, and I don't pick it up. I pick up that grapiness in the Benchmark products, but for whatever reason, Buffalo Trace, I just don't. Let's get into the Green River. A little sharper on the palate. I am enjoying the nose on the Green River, but beside the Bardstown, it's a little sharper on the palate. There's a nice vanilla. It's got a pretty good mouthfeel. But trying them side by side, it's good on its own, but, and I'm not, look, when I got these two, the weeded version, to me, was better than the higher rye bourbon, or the typical mash bill bourbon. I liked it much more than this one. I believe I did. Look, I've got to go back to the videos and watch them because I know more is gone out of this one. Maybe it was this one, but I thought it was the weeded one that I liked more. But right now, side by side, man, I am going to have to give it to the Bardstown. Let's go back in for one more sip. That second nose, I picked up a little bit of cinnamon. It's coming across on the palate. Some of that pepper's coming across on the palate. It's got a really nice mouthfeel. You know what it is? The Green River, side by side, is just not coming across as sweet as the Bardstown. Mouthfeel wise, it does tend to be just a touch thinner than the Bardstown. There's a nice vanilla note, a nice dark chocolate note. It's very light, but it's like that dark chocolate, but it does have a little bit of like some, I would say like a few sharp edges. It's not rough, because by itself, I like it a lot. And I actually thought that it was gonna win hands down against the Bardstown. Going from B to A, because, you know, I like to help you guys out. It comes across better on camera when you guys go from your left to your right, versus my left to my right. So B to A, going back to A. Wow. It's got that Buffalo Trace grapiness. It seems to come off sweeter. I am gonna have to say that the Bardstown, the Bardstown Origin Series beat out one of my favorites, the Green River Bourbon. But as far as the weeded versions go, you know that this is 10 proof points higher. That will make a difference, in my opinion, in a lot of blinds, because proof points tend to equal flavor and viscosity. A lot of times when they water the bourbon down, depending on what proof point they come from, it can make it a thinner bourbon and it can wash away a lot of those flavors. So we will get into the Bardstown first, like we did on the first go round, and then we'll get into the Green River. I do, and you guys know I just released a video on the Green River. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. I am a big fan of the Green River bourbon and weeded bourbon, so, you know, I'm not letting that sway, as you saw in the first matchup. Let's get into the nose. That smells hot. That smells like rubbing alcohol. So maybe I was a bigger fan of the regular bourbon than I am of the weeded version, because that smells like rubbing alcohol. That is giving me a lot of oak. Some of that grapiness as well. And that's pretty much it. It's like the palate on this one. So I guess I was more of a fan of the bourbon, the typical mash bill bourbon, than I was of the weeded bourbon. Let's get into the Green River weeded. Nothing special on the nose. I thought I actually picked up a little bit like of a hay note. I am picking up some oak. A light vanilla. Now I was picking up a lot of cherry on the regular bourbon, but I am not picking that up. This is just vanilla, a little bit of hay, some oak. Let's get into the palate. There's a nuttiness, and I say it a lot. You hear it in my videos. There's a sunflower seed nuttiness in this bourbon. Now look, I do pick that up in some bourbons, especially Dickel products. I don't know what causes that. You know, the same way people say Jim Beam, peanut nuttiness, I pick up like this sunflower seed nuttiness in bourbon sometimes. It drives me crazy because it's not just one particular brand. I pick it up across several different brands. This right here comes off slightly more viscous than the Green River, but I told you, because this is 100 proof, sometimes proof lends to flavor notes and viscosity. So this right here is coming off thinner, and I've got to say that I'm a fan of the Green River, but putting it side by side with the Bardstown, you know, the viscosity in the Green River is just not shining through. Flavor notes though, much better, way better. The Bardstown just came off more bland. I wasn't feeling it as much. The flavor notes in the Green River, we'll have to go back in. To me, comes off sweeter. It's got that sunflower seed nuttiness that I like. It's got a nice vanilla note in it, and it's got a nice raisin note. Let's go back into the Bardstown. Yeah. The Bardstown weeded, just can't say that it's going to beat the Green River tonight. I'm actually starting to pick up a couple of the maple notes, almost like that. I think it was J.W. Kelly maple notes, but it's just not doing it for me tonight. So I am going to have to say that the winner of the weeded release is going to go to Green River. Even though this comes in at 100 proof, 10 proof points higher, it just didn't do it for me. So what I recommend, let me put these down, is you get all 4 bottles. I know that that is a little hard on the pocket sometimes, but after doing this and putting them side by side, I would probably pick these two first. And then I would go back and get these two. Like I said, I told you in the beginning, I said you might walk away with a mixed team. I mean, these two, look, they're great. I love them by themselves. These two right here, I felt okay with them by themselves. But if I had to spend my money, these two come in cheaper. I love both of these bottles. But tonight, the weeded version of the Green River and the regular bourbon version of the Bardstown won out. With that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you're headed to a drop. Until next time.